that.
Including your children.
I'll be trying to pull double duty at that meet.
Double, if not triple. Hopefully,
I don't know what else I'd be doing.
Well, so Dave Zenke will be
hopefully not announcing, because I hope will
you'll be
find
meet
somebody.
director. Might also be making some announcements, as we've seen our meet director do today.
Well,
is Jeff the meet director, or is Bob?
They're co-meet directors.
Okay.
But Jeff likes to be on the mic.
And then, of course, we also hope that you can give us some commentary next week, as I don't know how much I will be able to do next week.
That's the hope. The hope is I can do some.
Next week, who do we normally have for Black Bear? Jim McKenzie shows up, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Mack should be there because I believe Concord is coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Smith joins us.
I wouldn't be surprised that
Again, he
either.
was down at Nashua North today doing some commentary. And then, as always, any coaches listening right now, love having you guys stop by for a race or two. Anything you can give us is always awesome to hear. We love hearing from them. And this goes out to athletes as well, okay? If we have, you want an event, you want to talk about it, we would love to talk about it on the broadcast in addition to the interview you do. I was down producing New England's for indoor high school this year, and we were able to get a number of the winners up talking with us, and it was just a phenomenal time, and it made it pretty fun for us and pretty fun for the kids.
We did that last year at the Meet of Champions. I do remember a couple of the athletes coming up to the booth once they were done competing.
Yep. And we do now have our first section on the track in lane 2, Merrimack Valley, 3, the Raymond Rams, and in 4, Bishop Brady.
Most notably, I had the privilege of talking with Billy Powers after he set the new state record in the 110 hurdles.
Always a great conversationalist with him.
Yep.
He is now at Cornell.
Yep. Very nice kid.
I saw him a couple times this winter.
Here we go with our first of 4 sections.
Times we could be looking at would be anywhere from 4:15 to 4:30, so we'll see what these boys have in the mix for us as we have a clean start. Last event underway, 3 more guns. And we're going to see if these boys can run down a dream.
Yeah. Not really helping us with the unlicensed music here.
Trying to pump up the energy at the facility. Still got some spectators out watching, although it looks like it might have thinned just a little bit. Those dark clouds might be a little little persuasive to leave.
As they say, if you don't have skin in the game, you might be getting out of this one.
Yeah. But MV with a strong first leg.
That's Dylan
We're at
Lissard.
53, so baton passes at 54. That's how I do my splits.
Yep.
We've got Raymond coming across at 59. But first section, that's a really good first leg.
That is.
And Brady crossing now. I know when I did 4x4, I was pretty insistent on always being the first leg because I liked to take a look at my competition and pace myself versus having to work solo or work back the lead. That was not my skill set. I always kind of wanted to run out in
from
front.
the front. Yeah.
Your first leg, you have all of that control. As we see our second leg on this straightaway now, ready to hand off. This is Merrimack Valley going from 2 to 3. Leg-wise, still in the number 1 spot. And pass off at a respectable 151, 152.
Be careful when they come down. They don't take out any of the equipment.
You've seen that before.
Oh, yeah.
So again, MV out alone in number 1. Raymond number 2 and Brady number 3. on our third legs now. These guys are moving pretty well. Again, all their seed times were well over 4 minutes, the lowest being 4:17 by Raymond, actually. Merrimack Valley entered with 4:40. They're definitely going to be able to improve upon that today, one would think,
definitely.
as they enter the anchor leg at 2:49 or so. Something tells me their anchor can handle not running for 90 seconds. Any luck, I didn't just curse him. I should probably double check our leader after watching the handoffs go by. And he is still pretty strong out there with about 2:20 to go. Merrimack Valley looking to put down a pretty good time. Bumping them up in battle notes. Battle notes, coaches. If you haven't updated yet, you should get on that. It's always good to see where everyone's at. No one likes when you wait to the last minute, so go ahead, get that done. We don't want to have to start creating penalties as Merrimack Valley.
43.
Ooh. Wow, we're going to have to keep that time in mind.
To that one.
That is a huge difference. That's almost a minute from what their seed time was.
The one of the girls 4x4 teams this winter did the same thing. From the slow heat, put up a time that I think finished second.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
But it's not unheard of because
no, at the state meet you expect at least one team from the slow heat to place.
Even in this meet, because you may not have put your 4 best runners together yet.
Yep.
Your seed time is not necessarily what you're going to run. And this isn't obviously the state meet, but you've had maybe 2 meets up to this point, and
saw Brady finish there and heard one of their athletes say that is a PR, and I'd have to agree compared to their current seed time. So nice job to them as well. Indeed. Now moving on to heat number 2. Who do we have?
So we have White Mountain, Guilford, and Hopkinton.
Yeah,
so
few empty lanes.
3 of our 6 teams are opting not to run in this 4x4. So had they known, they probably would have put these 2 heats together and run 3 heats instead of 4.
Instead, now we get a little bit extra time to talk about Hopkinton, Guilford, and, of course, White Mountains. And the gun is off. Hopefully only hear that 2 more times today.
Yep.
Unless there's a false start or runners have to come back. Off of the first turn, still pretty hard to tell with the stagger.
And because they're not in adjacent lanes, there is an empty lane in between all of them.
That is true. So really it's taking a look at how big that gap is from one to the other, and it does look like our inside team, White Mountains, might have made up some ground on Guilford. We'll see how it shapes up in terms of Hopkinton. Hard to tell at that point. I think, though, Hopkinton might have a slight lead on both those teams. And as they go ahead, get to the straightaway where that stagger no longer matters, we do see Hopkinton coming down the stretch in first. Guilford.
White Mountain and followed by Guilford.
Yeah, Guilford and White Mountain pretty darn close with clean handoffs by both. We should see White Mountain take it first. Hopkinton clean, gets around, and then, cut in. There we go. Okay. Yep. Took an extra second. Always got to remember for that second leg to cut in on these 4x4s.
So if you saw that handoff between the White Mountain runners, their number 2 runner turned completely around so that he was facing in the opposite direction of the way he's supposed to be running. That is not how we teach kids to do handoffs.
Get some style points, but unfortunately this meet is not scored, so those points do not count for anything.
On time. So if you have to turn 180 degrees once you've received the baton to start running, that's just going to slow you down.
None of these guys walking down this stretch. They are all running I try and drown out another lovely song. Hopkinton with the first pass. White Mountains a few seconds behind, and then about the same gap for our team in third, Guilford, of this second section.
Pretty evenly spaced still.
Yes. Of course, as stated before, that could very easily change with the 4x4, as each leg could be totally different style of runner.
Yep.
We still do see Hopkinton in first, although it does look like our battle for second and third will become a battle, as right now, Guilford is passing White Mountains, which you can't quite see on the video, but we will have it come into view on the turn or shortly after. But that is a really back and forth battle. Both boys trying to fight each other off.
They are closing up on Hopkinton too.
Yes. This is going to make it pretty tight for our anchor legs.
Yeah, it is.
See who wants it, see who's
And
got
in fact, White Mountain is now taking the lead.
Decides to take the position, switch the spots.
Yep,
Not
as
sure I
he-
would have. But White Mountain,
Guilford and Hopkinton get the baton almost.
Guilford does
even.
get the slight edge and gets around for the corner. That really goes to show how valuable those handoffs are right there, because again, had it been slightly the other way, all of a sudden one person has to pass the other. And now taking a look at it, that is a huge lead by White Mountains.
They really did.
Still a good battle for second and third, just not the battle we saw on the last lap, which again goes to show 4x4, you never know.
It all matters on where you put your best runners, how you order them in your relay. Hopkinton opted to run their better runners first, so they had a lead early on. White Mountain opting to run their best runners in the anchor position.
And White Mountain is going to take the win at
3:59, 4 minutes,
right about
almost
4.
even.
Guilford will finish in second. Right behind them would be Hopkinton in third. So pretty close battle, back and forth, all over the place with that. And you talked about opting to do fast on one end, slow on the other end. Last week I was at the Penman Relays timing it, and the last event of the day, they had a mixed 4x4, and the order was totally up to the teams as long as they had 2 girls run and 2 guys run. So it was really interesting to watch strategy-wise what each team was doing. Ultimately, it did end up to whoever had the fastest athletes, but the strategy along the way was pretty fun.
We tried that at Spalding, actually. We did that one year. But I threw in a further rule, is that I said 2 boys are not allowed to hand off to each other.
Oh, okay.
So you had to break up. You couldn't run your 2 girls first and then the 2 boys second. You had to break up the order.
I think if I remember correctly, and I'm probably wrong on this, I know at least the first heat where you're really interested on this strategy for it, in the first heat, the winner of it went guy, girl, girl, guy. There are 3 of us debating it. That was my strategy.
That's the order I would have put it to.
That was my strategy. No one else in the booth had that same strategy, so I took that as a personal win, as we do see section 3 of 4 on the track now. It looks like we do have Monadnock in lane 1. Lane 2, Lebanon, does not appear to be here. Lane 3, we have Hanover. 4, Conan. 5, West. I like their uniforms as well. It's a royal blue, but West, you know it's West. And then lane 6 would have been Prospect Mountain, but I'm not seeing them.
They are not. Yeah. So we've had a fair number of relay teams opt not to run this 4x4. And my guess is they either had somebody go down to injury or they just wanted to get out of here before the rain comes back.
And there goes the third section.
Lap counter just fell over.
Well, hopefully all these athletes know they're only going once around the track.
True.
We should be okay without it for this race.
Now, Chariots of Fire, is that going to throw up a copyright? Or is that a...
So I've used it before. It might be aged out.
What's the term for that? Yeah, when the copyright is expired.
I believe copyright law is 20 years.
Unless they redo it.
Yes. I could be wrong about that. I am not a lawyer.
You're not?
No. Not in the slightest. You should not take any legal advice from me. What you should take from me is that Monadnock is going to pass off in first
place
with about a 56.
Yep.
again, I count it when the baton crosses the
Yep.
line. And this looks like it will be a somewhat close battle, pretty close battle. I think
Yep.
these guys are all moving fast enough where it should be pretty exciting for us. We do now see that Monadnock is still in number 1 spot. Conant, number 2. Hanover, number 3, and West, number 4. But those 2, 3, 4 are relatively close, although now 2 is kind of pulling away, gaining on 1. I think
Public domain, that is what it's called
Yes.
when something has, when its copyright has expired.
and I feel like I've used this song before.
Yeah.
That being said, just because I use the song doesn't mean they're not going to change the policies on it.
That's true.
So hopefully we'll be able to listen to this. Good
Here we
battle
have-
now,
yep,
though.
Monadnock, though, is going to give up the lead to Conant briefly.
Conant passing off first.
Yep.
They have had a pretty strong day. So Conant, Monadnock, Hanover,
Hanover
and
and
West.
Fairly certain this one's not in the public domain yet.
Nope. Conant out by about a 25 to 30 meter lead over Monadnock. Monadnock
That was an abrupt change of lead there.
has about the same type of lead over third. West? What happened to Hanover? Oh, there they are.
They're back and forth.
So coming into the anchor leg, the bell lap for these guys, it is Conant at 2:52.
So Merrimack Valley still has the best time so far.
West surpassing Monadnock. We'll see how that battle will go. And of course, Hanover getting the stick, heading on out. Right now on your screen, we do see Conant still number
Still
one.
in the lead,
Still,
ahead of Monadnock.
yeah, they've got about a 50-meter lead now. However, it is a very close battle for second and third with
Yep.
Monadnock and West.
West.
Monadnock just taking over West and making me eat my words as they were shoulder to shoulder, but now Monadnock with a 10-meter lead. Conant with a great-looking
Bringing
leg,
it home.
though, huh? He's motoring down.
Merrimack Valley is going to still have the best time, though.
3:48.
Yep.
Monadnock second for the seat.
354. West in third, 357.
Squeezing in under that 4-minute mark. And then we have Hanover crossing the line.
Yep.
And of course, that is 3 of the 4 sections.
Yep.
So time to beat is what again?
It is 342, I believe, or 343.
Which we saw from
Heat
Merrimack
1.
Valley in Heat 1.
Yep.
Might have just heard Tim Cox getting all jacked up for the last gun of the day, the last heat of the day on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, this is section 4 of 4, and it looks like everyone's going to show up for the party.
Good.
Kennett representing lane 1, Cole Brown in 2, St. Thomas in 3, Interlakes in 4, Conval in 5, and on the outside we do have Pembroke in 6, and none of these jerseys match each other, so this is going to make life a little bit easier for us.
And each of them are probably, maybe not the athletes, but the coaches are certainly keeping their eye on the clock to see, because outside of St. Thomas with a 3:36, each of these teams has a time equal to or a little bit slower than the Merrimack Valley time.
Again, early on in the season, all of these 4x4s could still be changed week to week, figuring out what you want for a mix and match with it. Does look like Cole Brown, Porter Higas electing to utilize blocks for his 4x4. Dave gives the thumbs up, approving the move. He is the only one in our fastest heat to utilize the blocks. We'll see how it works for him.
One last 4x4.
No pressure to
Go
him.
interior for just a moment, please.
See that Kennett is leading off with their best athlete,
Yes.
opting for their fastest runner first.
Wind is picking up, but you got to go all the way around the track. So if you get it at your back, it means you're also going to be running into it.
Yep.
Definitely picking up for this last gun of the day.
Those little strings tacked into the ground might not keep this tent down.
I think we'll be all set.
Good start.
See a little bit of a wave from the Cole Brown cheering
Yep.
section. Interesting spot to cheer from. Definitely good to see that team spirit, though.
So as we said before, first runner is in lanes the whole way round. So teams will be receiving in their respective lanes.
Second leg.
As soon as they have crossed the finish line, though, they are able to cut in.
Yep. Another appropriately themed song, which hopefully
We'll have
you
to get
cannot
muted.
hear.
Or at least not clearly.
Yep.
So Kennett, as we expected, has the lead after the first leg.
Cole Brown in second. So
Brown,
those handoffs were
Conval,
53-54 for the
St.
first
Thomas
leg.
and Conval, Interlakes rather, couldn't see really who was in the lead, but
That
doesn't matter after the first leg, honestly.
53, I believe that's the fastest opening leg we've seen,
Yes,
as to be expected.
by 3 or 4 seconds. That was Chris Caputo. Actually surprised he wasn't using blocks, being their top 100 and 200 runner. He's certainly experienced enough using them.
Yep. Again, it does come down to more than experience.
Yeah.
On this straightaway now, though, second leg runners, we do still have the
Kennett in
lead by
first.
Kennett.
Cole Brown and Conval pretty close to each other.
We'll see how the handoffs go. Cole Brown with a slight edge going into it as Kennett passes off at 149. Cole Brown going 152.
Good handoff from
Conval
Cole Brown.
153. Pembroke crossing line 157. Interlakes
Interlakes.
158. And St. Thomas at
Oop, oop.
201 with some style points.
That's what I call the pirouette. He turned into a full 360.
Kennett looking really strong right now. About a
Very.
20-meter lead
Very.
on Cole Brown. Does
But
look like that lead might
Cole
be
Brown
closing
is closing
slightly.
the gap a little bit and expanding their lead over Conval.
Of course, Kennett opted to go with their stud first. Not to say
Yep.
anything against their anchor leg now. I've seen him run pretty darn fast before
Yep.
as well. But Cole Brown is closing that gap quite
They
a
are.
bit. This could make it really exciting.
So here's the final handoff. Good handoff from
Kennett,
both
Cole Brown.
teams.
Let's see what their strategy is. It looks like Cole
Take it
Brown
to the corner.
opting not to go right
Nope.
off of the corner. We'll see what happens. That is Dawson DuBois.
So he's going to take him right here before the last on the straightaway. So
Rolls off.
They roll even onto the straightaway.
Cole Brown edging out. Going to try and tuck in. Going onto the corner. Cole Brown, Kennett, 1-2. Cole Brown in the lead. They're running a pretty good time, and that gap is
Yep,
increasing.
it is
Right now, if Dawson
expanding.
can hold on, they should win it. He's starting to feel a little bit of fatigue.
Looking,
Now, he looked back in his shoulder earlier today, which
Yep.
cost him a little bit. Doesn't look like he is.
Oh,
Looks
look
like
at Interlakes.
everything is going forward.
Interlakes has come up to get second.
Cole Brown,
But-
344. Interlakes, 346. We might have to go back to
Believe it or not,
heat number one.
Merrimack Valley
Wow.
has the best time.
Dodge a bullet here. Let's hear it coming on in. Pembroke.
3:43 out of the first heat
That's pretty impressive.
takes the win.
Pretty impressive indeed.
Here, there, and everywhere as far as getting this facility cleaned up.
And once again, as our camera goes down, this has been NewHampshireTrackandField.com, powered by Runners
Rather fitting
Alley.
that that's when it happens.
Meet Hub brought to you by Speed Sport Timing. Thanks for checking out the
Yep.
race.
We will pick up again next weekend at the Black Bear Invitational. Until then, it's Dave Zink signing off with Greg Hall. See you next
Enjoy
weekend.
your vacation.
That's right.
There we go.